I really liked it. I was nervous about it. But you know what? It is such a buzz and so empowering. Actually, was a ton of fun. I think that it's got so much merit, so much merit. Hey, you know what? That outcome or that result, um, so that set me up, and my that set me up. It set and my kids up. It also meant that um, it's also set my ex-husband up. Like it meant that we could both walk away and we could create um, homes for our children in two different locations, and move forward with some financial security. You were so helpful. Like I couldn't believe how available you were. And I we were doing that over like Christmas, New Year, and I was like, oh my gosh, David, like how can you be this available? Like it's the weekend. Like you've got a
Well,
family. I knew that you would be there and that you had the answers for me, because I guess we'd had several conversations by the time I formally engaged you, and I felt I felt safe.
mhm.
Actually, I felt safe. I knew that the risk of me making a fool of myself, which was a big deal for me, um, was significantly reduced by having somebody with your expertise walking beside me through the process. And I reached out to you in particular because I don't know what I don't know. I wanted the data essentially, and I felt like you gave me the data
Mhm.
and um, and the information that I needed to feel like I was making rational decisions about
Mm.
something that is a very significant life decision and change. And I think that I was nervous coming into it because everybody does this, everybody sells their house using the one method, essentially, don't they? I was nervous that people were going to come back and tell me, haha, I told you so. And what I actually um, yeah, so that was what I was the most nervous about. But I was also um, by the time I got through the end of it, and by talking to you at different points in the process, I felt like, yeah, we did it. Yeah, I showed you guys like that I could do this, and that was really important to me, because people were around me were, a little bit worried. Other real estate professionals like shaking their head at me as well. It was, yeah, like that for me was like, okay, actually, no, I came up with a really good result. And I had buyer's agents say, wow, you've done an incredible job. And, as well. So it was like,
Yeah, yeah,
through the process. And so it was like, yeah, well done me, and well done you, David, like holding my hand. So yeah, it was actually a really empowering process for me, because I was so involved in it. It meant that I had an intimate understanding that I wouldn't have gotten from working with traditional agents of where we were up to in the process, and what the different elements or factors were that we were needed to be considering at different times. And it's interesting because after I sold my property with you, I was obviously buying a new property so that I could relocate. And I was negotiating with another agent, and I watched him, and I just thought, this isn't a I didn't feel like he was representing the interests of those the sellers in a way that you and I were able to represent my interests, and position my property in the market. I don't think that I would go back to a traditional agent just because of those reasons. I just didn't feel like I don't feel like my values align with them.
yeah.
With you, when I've seen your things pop up and I've seen other people's success in this area, I've actually really loved like seeing it, and I feel like I'm part of the movement almost. I know that sounds so daggy, but it's really true. I feel like we're part of like this little tribe or something. You're creating a movement and a group of like thinking people who are passionate about doing things a little bit differently. And yeah, I would recommend it every day. And sorry, and I actually do every time I see it, somebody pops up asking when I'm on Facebook or social media. Generally, I say have a look at revolutionary real estate, and that's because because I have so much confidence in the product that you are selling. Um, I think that it has appeal to so many different sectors of society.